Things are heating up in Los Angeles, and at the center of it all is none other than Austin Reaves. The Lakers are heading into an offseason filled with big decisions, and one of the most polarizing revolves around what to do with their young guard. Reaves is entering a contract year, and reports suggest he's aiming for a deal that would pay him over $30 million annually. Now, whether or not he deserves that kind of money is up for debate, but there's no doubt that someone out there might be willing to pay it. The real question is, should the Lakers be that team? From a financial and strategic standpoint, it's a tough call. Reaves is undoubtedly a talented player. He's carved out a solid role for himself in Los Angeles, often showing flashes of brilliance and delivering in big moments. But is he a franchise cornerstone? Is he a player you commit over $30 million per season to, especially when your roster already features high-cost stars like LeBron James and Luka Doncic? Because let's be honest, if you're shelling out that kind of money, you're expecting more than a good role player. You're expecting someone who can be a game changer night in and night out and lead your team in critical moments. And here's the thing, Austin Reaves is good, very good even, but he's not a superstar. He's not a top 5 player in the league, and he's not the guy you hand the keys to your franchise to. He's a strong rotational piece, a blue chip role player who brings effort, energy, and the occasional offensive burst. And yes, he's had some great performances. No one's denying that, but consistency has been an issue. You look at the numbers, watch the games, and it becomes pretty clear. Reaves can be streaky. One night, he looks like he belongs in the all-star conversation. The next, he struggles to make an impact. It's not about tearing him down, it's about being honest. Even Reaves himself has acknowledged some of these criticisms. Whether it's handling ball pressure, maintaining focus through the grind of the season, or bringing it every night, he's got areas he needs to improve. The Lakers know this. That's why, despite public statements suggesting otherwise, they may be quietly exploring their options. Of course, they're not going to come out and say it. No team is going to announce, hey, we don't think this guy's worth the money, because that tanks his trade value. You keep your poker face, talk up the player, and hope another team bites. That's the game. Let's also not ignore the elephant in the room, fit. Once the Lakers made their move for Luka, everything changed. The dynamic in the backcourt shifted dramatically. Luka needs the ball in his hands. That's where he's at his best. Reaves, while capable of playing off the ball, is most effective when he's also able to initiate offense and get into rhythm. The two can coexist, sure, but does it make sense to keep them both when you have more pressing needs elsewhere on the roster? Depth in the front court, consistent perimeter defense, size, rebounding, all of that takes a hit if you're overpaying a guard who may not even be the best fit alongside your other stars. This isn't about emotion or favoritism. It's about building a contender. If the Lakers were one piece away from a championship, maybe you roll the dice and keep Reaves, overpaying a little to maintain continuity and chemistry. But that's not where they are. They have holes to fill and limited flexibility to do it. Committing a huge chunk of the cap to Reaves could end up being a luxury they simply can't afford. Now his agent is doing what any good agent does. Hyping his client. That's his job. Of course, he's going to say that Reaves is ready to take the next step, that he's poised for a breakout year, that he's about to become one of the league's most exciting guards. That's part of the business, but we've got to look past the spin. Reaves is 26 years old, turning 27 soon. He's not some raw prospect with years of development ahead. He's entering what should be the prime of his career. That's both a blessing and a curse. On one hand, you can expect some improvement. On the other, this might be as good as it gets. The encouraging thing is that his year-over-year progression has been solid. His shooting percentages have improved. His confidence has grown. And with a full off-season ahead, plus a proper training camp, there's a legitimate chance he enters next season sharper, more refined, and ready to take on a bigger role. The question is whether that role should be in Los Angeles or somewhere else. He's got to work. That's the bottom line. There were concerns last off-season about whether he was spending more time on the golf course than in the gym. Reaves addressed that, pushing back on the narrative, but the results on the court weren't exactly reassuring. He started the season slow, showing those same streaky tendencies that have plagued him throughout his young career. Sure, he bounced back midway through the season, but the slow start hurt the team's rhythm and made people wonder whether he had truly committed to the grind. And then there's the playoffs. That's where legacies are made. Regular season stats are great, but they don't tell the whole story. When the lights are brightest, when the pressure's on, that's when you separate the real difference makers from the rest. Unfortunately, that's where Reaves has struggled. Despite putting up solid numbers during the season, his postseason performances have been uneven at best. In his first playoff run, he showed some promise, especially against Memphis. But by the time the Lakers faced Golden State, the weaknesses started to show. He struggled under ball pressure, got exposed on defense, and had a hard time creating space. To his credit, he bounced back somewhat in the Denver series. But fast forward to the next playoff run, and things went downhill again. Poor shooting, questionable decision-making, disappearing in key moments. It was all there. And what's most concerning is that instead of showing growth in the postseason, his performances have regressed. That's not the trajectory you want to see from a player you're considering investing a long-term, high-dollar deal in. Again, this isn't about hating on the guy. It's the opposite. If Austin Reaves becomes the player his agent is hyping him up to be, that's great for the Lakers. If he goes out and averages 25 points per game, knocks down 40% of his threes, grabs 6 boards, dishes out 6 assists, and holds his own on defense, the Lakers are in business. That's the dream scenario. But is that likely? That's what the front office has to figure out. You can't build a championship team on wishful thinking. You've got to be realistic, evaluate the talent objectively, and make the tough calls. That means putting him in the gym, surrounding him with the right development staff, and pushing him to take that next step. The Lakers have already invested in new conditioning coaches and specialists. That's a step in the right direction. But it can't just be about Luka or LeBron. Reaves has to be part of that process too. He needs to improve his lateral movement, get stronger, become more resilient against physical defenders. We've seen flashes of him being a solid defender. The potential is there. It just needs to be unlocked consistently. No one's asking him to become Kawhi Leonard on defense, but if he can at least be reliable, that changes the equation. Add that to improved consistency on offense, and now you've got a real asset. Again, he doesn't have to be Kyrie or Irving, but if he can fill that role effectively, especially in a backcourt with Luka, that's huge. The blueprint is there. We've seen Dallas make a deep run with 2 ball-dominant guards. The key is having both guys complement each other, not compete for touches. If Reaves can adapt, grow, and deliver in those moments, he's got a real chance to become more than just a fan favorite. He could become a difference maker. The decision on Austin Reaves isn't just about who he is right now, it's about who he can realistically become. The Lakers are in a precarious spot. They're trying to keep their championship window open while balancing the needs of an aging superstar in LeBron, a newly added franchise-level player in Luka, and a roster that has to be competitive in the brutal Western Conference. Every contract matters. Every rotation spot is critical, and every dollar they spend on a player has to count. So when it comes to Reaves, the margin for error is razor thin. He's a popular player. Let's not pretend that doesn't factor into the conversation. Fans love him. He's gritty. He hustles. He's had a few big-time highlights that have gone viral. That matters to some extent. But popularity isn't a metric that shows up in wins and losses. Sentiment can't drive decisions at this level. It's not enough to be liked. You have to deliver consistently on both ends of the floor, especially when the stakes are highest. And so far, Reaves has been inconsistent when it matters most. That's not slander. That's a factual evaluation based on performance. His ceiling may still be ahead of him, but potential without production is just hope and championship caliber. Teams don't operate on hope alone. There's also the matter of value, not just in terms of salary, but in trade leverage. If the Lakers extend Reaves now on a massive deal, they're committing to him for the long haul. But if they wait, or if they even consider moving him, what's the market return? Is there a team out there that views him as a cornerstone? Maybe. And here's another thing. There are whispers around the league that Reaves himself may want a bigger role. Whether that's true or not, it adds another layer of complexity. If he's looking for a situation where he's not the third or fourth option, that could create tension, especially with someone like Luka dominating the ball. You can't have multiple guards trying to play lead creator when the system is already built around a primary engine. Reaves has shown he can play off ball. Yes, but does he want to? That matters, because if he's not mentally all in on that, it'll show. His impact will suffer and the team chemistry could take a hit. Fit isn't just about basketball skills. It's about mindset and willingness to buy into a role. And let's not ignore the defensive side of the ball, because that's often where championship runs are won. You look at the most successful our teams, they all have two-way contributors who can hold their own on both ends. Reaves right now is a below-average defender. That has to change. Whether it's foot speed, awareness, effort, or strength, something has to improve there. If he wants to be on the floor during crunch time in a playoff game, he can't be a liability. Teams will target him. They've already done it. The film is out there. Coaches game plan around that stuff, especially in a 7-game series. You can hide one guy defensively, maybe two if you're lucky, but not if that player is also inconsistent offensively. That's how playoff series are lost. You also have to factor in his peers. What other players in that salary range bring to the table. $30 million a year puts him in the same tier as guys like Jalen Brunson, DeJounte Murray, and sometimes even more accomplished names depending on market inflation. That's the standard he'll be measured against. And if he falls short, that contract becomes an anchor instead of a weapon. The Lakers can't afford another bad contract. They've already seen what happens when cap space gets tied up in players who can't deliver under pressure. It stifles the rest of the roster. It forces tough decisions down the line. On role players, on draft picks, on depth. And in the playoffs, depth matters more than people realize. There's also the leadership angle. Reaves is not a vocal leader. He's not the emotional anchor of the locker room. That's not a knock. Some players lead by example, and that's perfectly valid. But when you're getting paid like a star, there's an expectation that you step into a larger role beyond just putting up numbers. You're expected to be a stabilizer when things go wrong, to be the one setting the tone in tough moments, to be the guy younger players look to. That's a big ask. And it's not clear yet whether Reaves is ready or willing to take that on. His demeanor on the court is often quiet, occasionally frustrated, and not always assertive. Those things matter when you're being asked to anchor a team on a nightly basis. At the end of the day, this is going to come down to timing and vision. If the Lakers believe Reaves is going to make a major leap this year, maybe they go all in and lock him up before the price goes even higher. But if they're unsure, or if they think the current version of Reaves is close to his peak, then they might look to move him while his value is still high. That's the calculus. It's not about liking or disliking a player. It's about building a roster that can survive a full season, win playoff series, and ultimately contend for a title. That's the standard in Los Angeles. Anything less is failure. Reaves still has the chance to prove he's part of that formula, but that window won't stay open forever. Before we continue, we ask that you leave a like and subscribe to the channel so you won't miss any exclusive Lakers updates. Moving on, whispers around the NBA world suggest that Michael Porter Jr. might be heading to the Los Angeles Lakers, sparking a flurry of speculation among fans and analysts alike. While nothing has been officially confirmed, sources close to the league hint that the Lakers are eyeing Porter Jr. as a key piece to bolster their roster for the upcoming season. The prospect of Porter Jr. joining the Lakers has become a hot topic, especially considering the team's ongoing search for versatile scorers to complement their star-studded lineup. Porter Jr., known for his scoring ability and length on the wing, has demonstrated flashes of brilliance throughout his career. Despite battling injuries that have hampered his consistency, the Lakers, eager to add depth and shooting prowess, could see Porter Jr. as a valuable asset who fits well alongside their established stars. His potential to stretch defenses with his outside shooting and create mismatches could be exactly what the Lakers need to regain dominance in the highly competitive Western Conference. This potential move has sparked debates among experts, with some viewing Porter Jr. as a high upside gamble worth taking, while others caution about his injury history and inconsistency. However, the Lakers front office is known for taking calculated risks in pursuit of championships, and adding a player of Porter Jr.'s caliber could signal their intent to contend aggressively once again. If the deal goes through, Porter Jr. would join a roster that includes veteran leadership and emerging young talent. setting the stage for an intriguing blend of experience and athleticism. Moreover, the Lakers' interest in Porter Jr. aligns with their strategy to enhance spacing and versatility on offense. In a league increasingly dominated by perimeter shooting, Porter Jr.'s skill set offers the Lakers a dynamic option who can score from multiple areas on the court. Fans have already begun imagining how his presence could open up opportunities for the team's other stars, potentially revitalizing their offensive schemes. As the NBA offseason progresses, all eyes will remain on the Lakers and their maneuvers in the trade and free agent markets. The rumor mill around Michael Porter Jr.'s possible arrival adds an exciting layer of anticipation for the franchise and its supporters. Whether this buzz materializes into a concrete signing or remains a tantalizing what if, it underscores the Lakers' ongoing ambition to build a championship contending team. For now, the NBA community watches closely, waiting to see if Michael Porter Jr. will indeed become the Lakers' newest reinforcement, or if this will be another intriguing story in the ever-evolving landscape of professional basketball. Stay informed exclusively about Los Angeles Lakers news. Subscribe to our channel and hit the like button to keep receiving daily updates. Also, share your opinion on the news in the comments, as your contribution is crucial for the Lakers. Stay tuned for the next video.